Hello, Statesmen fans, and welcome to another exciting year of the Statesmen Coaches Show. My name is Alicia Rabideau, and I'm our Director of Athletics here at William Penn University, and we are thrilled to have you with us today. But before I bring out our first guest, let's talk about our schedule for the weekend. On the road this Saturday, our Shotgun Sports program is competing at the Simpson Invitational, and our women's volleyball program is competing at Peru State. But this Saturday in Oskaloosa, it's Parents Weekend, and we've got a packed schedule of action. Men's soccer kicks off at 11 a.m., followed by football at 11:30 a.m., and women's soccer at 1:30 p.m. Make sure to come out, support our teams, and enjoy a great day of Statesmen Athletics. And as always, if you can't catch us live in person, you can catch us live on the Statesmen Sports Network. Now, let's welcome our first guest, Coach Caleb Preston, our head women's soccer coach. Coach, thank you for being here and for being on your first ever Coaches Show.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you've been at it for about a little over a month now, and this is your first head coaching job. So tell us about that transition and how fall preseason camp went for you.
Yeah, I think the transition went pretty seamlessly. I feel that I was really prepared kind of coming in and kind of knew the ideas and things that I wanted to bring to a new program for myself. So I think preseason camp went well. I think the girls brought a lot of great energy right out of the gate, and I think I owe a lot of credit to them for kind of how seamless the transition has been, because they came in with the right mindset and they were ready for change and they were excited for the change. So I think preseason camp went really well.
Awesome. So we had about 6 non-conference games so far. Tell us, how did those games prepare you to open up conference play this weekend?
Yeah, I think if we were looking at our non-conference opponents, Dordt was most definitely the strongest opponent that we faced. Sadly, we kicked off against them, so we had a really rough kind of game one. But by second half, we kind of sorted some things out and really made it a competitive match. It was much closer than the 5-1 kind of felt, I guess, the final scoreline anyway. And then the rest of the non-conference schedule kind of prepared us to be competitive against a lot of the mid to lower teams within the conference. So I think we'll be prepared to fight for a conference tournament spot this season, and that's the goal for us.
Awesome. So you touched on it a little bit, being competitive. So we've had a lot of really competitive games, close games, 3 ties so far. What are the girls learning from those games? What are you learning, and how are you able to make adjustments going into conference play?
Yeah, so I think 3 of the results being ties, we were up 1-0 in all 3 of those matches, and we were up 1-0 going into the second half in all 3 of those matches. So hopefully we're learning a little bit about playing in the second half with that same energy that maybe we're approaching the first half with. And to be honest, as a coach, like you're up 1-0, you have a lead in those games. Like those 3 draws could very, very easily be wins. So it's a little bit frustrating, but I think we're going to take it and learn from those kind of mistakes that we had in the second half and really grow on those, and hopefully that we can turn those 1-0 results in the second half into maybe 2-0 our side rather than us conceding.
Love it. So opening conference play with Baker this Saturday. Talk to us about this matchup and what kind of soccer can we expect to see on Saturday?
Yeah, so I think Baker is kind of just based off of film and things that we've seen, I think Baker's kind of in the same field that we are. We're looking for one of the last couple of spots in the conference tournament. That's what we're fighting for this year, and those are our goals. And I think Baker's probably in that same window of the 5 to 10 in the conference. So it's an important game for us. I don't want to put like any added pressure. It's still just a match, and we need to go out and perform just like we did in non-conference. So it should be a competitive match. It's one that we have on the schedule that we're excited for, and we're looking for a win.
Awesome, love it. Again, Coach Preston, head women's soccer coach, thank you for being here. They kick off 1:30 p.m. Saturday on Drost.
Awesome, thank you so much, Alicia.
Our next coach is Coach Simon Brown, head men's soccer coach. Welcome to the show, and congrats on the hot start.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So, the best season in program history. We're currently ranked 8th in the country. Again, program best. Talk to us about your first 7 games of the year, and how has the mindset been for these non-conference matchups?
Yeah, we've been blessed this year. We had 8 starting returners from last year, so I think we just really kicked on from the end of last season, and we had a really hungry group. You know, they had a taste of success getting to the final site for the first time, and anytime you have that, and then adding in the transfers that we had, the new kids that we've added in, Like I said, we have a really competitive group, and it's been a joy to work with as a coach when you have a team that's hungry. They've played against top competition before, so going into the big games that we've played, they're ready for it. It's not just me pumping them up for the game. So again, we're blessed with good players, a competitive spirit, a really mature group. We have a lot of grad kids this year, so we're excited where we're at right now.
So you touched on a little bit having a lot of returners from a historic season last year. How is having these veterans and this leadership impacted the incoming newcomers, the freshmen, the transfers? How are they able to really drive into them what Statesmen men's soccer is all about?
Yeah, I think a lot of the conversation has been this week because they're trying to describe the difference of conference. So like the games we're playing so far, they're all great and all. Like we're playing good teams on the road. Like we had 4 away games in 8 days, and the guys understood what it's like going to Oklahoma Wesleyan away. Like as big as a result as that was, that's every conference game, and I think that was the biggest mindset shift that our guys have had. And now going into a Baker game, that like on paper maybe it's a game that they feel like they should win, but when you watch them play, they're really good. Like Baker's a top 20 team. It's just there's 7-8 top 20 teams in our conference, and for whatever reason they're not all getting in. So I think like I said, the mindset shift is great. Having the leaderships there to understand that how competitive conference is, like it's all well and good. Like I'm sure there's 5 or 6 other conferences out there that say, oh, our conference is the best, but ours has had 4 of the last six national champions, and we have 6 teams in the top 25 now, top 30, whatever it is. So it's crazy. Every game is crazy tough, and you can't take a day off. And we've said that from the start, and our senior guys understand that.
Awesome. So we have seen a couple different lineups. We've experienced some injuries. Talk to us. How has that impacted the team, and how are we able to fight through that adversity?
Sitting here now, it's a good thing after it's happened, because we had a couple of injuries like the day before Oklahoma Wesleyan to some key players. And we had a day to get ready, and we were just like, let's just throw these guys out to the wolves. What happens. And now that we've come through that on the other side, and we've played 3-4 games with the different lineups, we know that we have a squad of 25 guys, 30 guys that are all competing to be in that top 20, and that any of them can play at any given time. And you see the last 2 games this weekend, we won 4-0. Each game we had 4 different goal scorers, and we're playing 22, 23, 24 guys. The level hasn't dropped. We're creating 20 shots a game. Like our stats and numbers are off the charts. And like I said, it's just a credit to the group that we have right now. We have a really competitive group that are all fighting to get onto the field.
So let's talk about Saturday, our conference opener. You kind of touched on Baker a little bit, but what kind of soccer are we going to see on Saturday, and what can we expect from this matchup?
Baker look very similar to us. Watching them play against Ottawa at the weekend, watching them play last week, very similar style to what we've played the last couple of years and had some success with. So it's interesting watching teams trying to mimic a little bit what we had, so that they can get a little bit of that success, and it's great. But it makes it easier for training, I suppose, this week, because we just do what we normally do, as opposed to so our guys know what to face up. So, but they have a young team. I think in the last couple of years they relied on 1 kid, 2 kids to get them over the line, and they look like a younger team, fresh team, a little bit more balanced. A lot of new guys that we haven't seen in the past, which will be its own unique challenge. But again, they got to come to our home field, and they got to travel up here, and it'll be fun to have. I didn't realize it was a triple header with all against Baker, men's and women's soccer, all at football, all at the same time, and that's a cool, unique experience for both schools and the university. So yeah, we're excited for the unique challenge that Baker brings, and open up hard play with a competitive game.
We love it. Again, men's soccer will kick off on Saturday at 11 a.m. on Drost. We will see you there. Coach Brown, it's great having you on here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Our final guest is Coach Mark Benavides, our head football coach. Coach.
Thanks for having me.
So talk to us about fall camp. How did that go this past fall, and what can we expect to see from the Statesmen football program?
Yeah, it went great. We had a number of guys competing, a number of young freshmen competing that are contributing and playing on the field right now. And so one of the biggest takeaways, guys, for the most part, staying healthy during camp. And, we knew going into it, again, that first opponent, Billy Bull, going to be a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things not exactly sure what we're going to face. And fortunately, a bunch of young guys contributed and have gained some experience since then.
Awesome. So you talked about the Billy Bowl a little bit. Let's dive into week 0. It was our home opener under the lights. It was a great night, great crowd. We won 59-0 and earned our first ever Billy Bowl victory belt. Talk to us about that, and what were your thoughts from that night?
Yeah, again, Coach Mendez at William Wood's a very tough task they're having to do right now, start a program from the jump. And again, from us, a lot of uncertainty what we're about to face, but very fortunate, had an amazing crowd, awesome fans, great tailgate out there, good environment, rung the bell, had a bunch of young guys get a bunch of experience, stayed healthy. That's what we want to shoot for moving forward in the rest of our games.
Benedictine last weekend, Heart Game of the Week. We're almost a week removed now. We lost that game 27-45. What were some of the biggest takeaways, and what are some adjustments that you guys plan to make going into this weekend?
Yeah, opponents like that, we kind of say championship week, whether it's an actual conference champion or not. We've got to be at the point where our guys aren't simply just doing their job. They've got to actually make plays. And so, going into the entire game, we knew like, hey, we're going to have opportunities. You've got to go make the catch when it's there. You got to go make the throw, make the block, the tackle, whatever it was. And there's times it definitely happened, and other times obviously it didn't. We were down 14-0 in 32 seconds going into the game, and ended up losing by 18, and put ourselves in a hole. But at the same time, again, our guys kept fighting. Benedictine went from 18th in the country, now they're 12th in the country. And so just like Simon mentioned, it's a gauntlet we're facing. This week again, Baker, they're ranked 18th in the country, very good team. But hopefully our guys learn from some of those mistakes, and we've got to take advantage of opportunities we get.
Awesome. So let's touch on a couple individual players. Who has maybe surprised you these last two games, and who has really earned your respect or maybe earned a little extra playing time?
Yeah, there's a number of guys. We've got a bunch of true freshmen, 18-year-old kids that are contributing. Look at some of our receivers. Kalen Bursey, a guy had a big touchdown catch last weekend. Keithon Davis, another big touchdown catch last weekend against the top 12 team. Brandon Powell made a bunch of plays. Those are just three true freshmen that are 18 years old making plays for us, on top of a bunch of true freshmen at defensive line. Like, for us to win this next week, it's going to come down to the trenches, offense and defensive line, and just a number of key contributors that are playing defensive line for us.
So Saturday we face Baker with an 11:30 a.m. kickoff. What can we expect to see Saturday, and what does our matchup look like?
Yeah, again, on paper, we're not supposed to win. On paper, not supposed to be close. Baker, I think we match up really well to them. It's something for us. We've got to be violent, physical, play fast. And if we go out there, execute, do our job, and we have a chance to make a play, go make a play, we have great opportunity to go win the game.
Well, we are very excited for that. Coach, good luck on Saturday. And again, our head football coach, Mark Benavidez, and this is your Statesmen Coaches Show.